It would be what we would call the old switcheroo. Or if you've ever seen Indiana Jones, when he's in the some sort of crypt, and there's the idol on the pedestal, and Indiana Jones has a bag in his hand, and he very delicately, he quickly, takes the idol and puts the false replica in its place. Well, that's really what someone like Feynman and you'll see Alex and Sean are doing here is they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. They're leaving all of the explanatory value that only God can give to the world. They're leaving that in the world itself, and they're removing the idea of God. And um, so let's see a little bit more of what Alex is saying here, and then we'll comment.
Really funny because uh, I kind of associate myself with both sides. I totally understand the physicist saying like, "Look, man, you've reached rock bottom. Like that's it. That's the ground floor." But I'm also kind of still like, but there's got to be something that it is. So it's a I do feel a little bit in limbo in these conversations, but I think that's quite an interesting example of the same kind of phenomenon.
So Alex is kind of summarizing, I think, a really astute feeling that most of us should have, uh, and even the atheists, I think, if they really think they have this feeling. So he kind of juxtaposes the two different ideas. So you have Feynman, who is offering just like, hey, that's all that there is. There's nothing else but physics and science and atoms and protons all the way down, and that explains the why. The why of magnets is just explained by that. And but the layperson who's unnamed is still sort of disquieted by this unsettled accounting of why the magnets really do what they do, and that they're somewhat unsatisfied with, perhaps even deeply unsatisfied with, the accounting that physics would offer, just physics alone. Um, and and Alex is saying that he identifies with both, and I really appreciate him saying that, and I think it shows his intellectual honesty, because he's a very smart person, and I could see him identifying with just a naked materialistic worldview devoid of any philosophy, or supposed philosophy, because materialism itself is philosophical. But he also is very, he just is intellectually honest, and I think really capturing what a lot of people, not non-theists, atheists included, feel. And so, yeah, that's just a good way that he puts it in a good way of showing the tension that exists between what science offers in regards to an answer, and there's some leftover facts that science doesn't account for, which really is just the phenomena of life. And then there's a couple terms that I'll introduce here that Alex is going to discuss coming up. He's actually only going to discuss, I think, two of them, but I'm going to explain three of them, just to kind of help us understand what he's saying. So the first term that Alex is going to discuss is, I don't know if it's the first one, but he discusses what's called physicalism. So physicalism is the thesis that everything is physical. And the thesis is usually intended as a metaphysical thesis, so something that explains the nature of things. It's parallel to the thesis given to the ancient Greek philosopher Thales that everything is water, or the idealism of Berkeley that everything is mental. The general idea is that the nature of the actual world, the universe, and everything in it, including our human experience, it conforms to a certain condition, and that condition is physical. And here's an important caveat. Of course, physicalists don't deny that the world might contain many items that at first glance don't seem physical, such as biological things, psychological, moral, social, mathematical. But a physicalist insists that at the end of the day, these items are physical, So basically, a physicalist would they would take really so this is an overarching view of the entire world of all of reality, physicalism, and it's actually a newer or a different term for another term which is very similar, probably even identical, which is materialism. So materialism, a lot of times when people say you're materialistic, they think that you have a penchant for buying French handbags, but that's not what philosophers generally mean by materialism. And so materialism is the idea of physicalism, that everything is material, as in everything is of the tangible sort. It's of whatever can be reduced down to physical, and that really reduces all the way down to subatomic particles.